This time I've been asked to comment on what features, what skills, what other potential characteristics helped myself and my colleagues get employed in the US. I just make a short note on the margin that myself, I've been employed with a company and associated with Stanford in California, and a lot of my colleagues have been employed in West Coast too. So I'll refer to the experience of mine and I'll refer to the experience of my colleagues, both employed with bigger companies and with startups. So when it comes to the American expectations over potential employees, I would probably highlight 3 features which I believe helped me personally and which I believe helped my friends. Those would not be, of course, the only magic pill to help you get employed in the US, but I believe those are quite not obvious things, so I hope that this will be helpful for you to at least build up the expectations over your potential career in the US. So number 1 thing in my personal experience is your international expertise and your international previous engagement. So since the US is a pretty I would say domestic market oriented country in the first place when it comes to traveling, changing the job, internal migration and stuff. It's not like in Europe where you would simultaneously search for a job in Paris and in Brussels. In the US, you can even give a double check. It's an interesting statistics how many Americans have passports which allow them to travel internationally rather than just an American ID. So the Americans value their international expertise of their potential employees a lot. So if you have studied abroad, traveled abroad, worked in the international teams, have certain expertise of working with the international clients, I believe in most of the cases, since the American companies are trying to go international pretty quick at a pretty early stage, it's being very much appreciated, and never hesitate to highlight your international expertise. This will also underline the connection to the second point. The second point is your ability to blend into the corporate culture and blend into cultural expectations. So unlike many Asian countries where your hard skill is the most important thing, and if you're a solid, professional, experienced person, you would most likely be employed regardless of your ability to, adapt to the local culture. With the Americans, it doesn't work that easy. I would say the majority of Americans expect you to go and just blend into the corporate culture, adapt the norms, follow the pattern of the local lifestyle. So they would pay strict attention to your ability to be flexible. And if you have international experience, most likely you have a high chance to adapt easily. So I would say this is very well connected, and I would also underline your ability to be flexible in terms of corporate cultures. Just being easygoing helps a lot, and being attentive and have an open eye and an open ear towards little different details of corporate culture and the lifestyle, it helps a lot. Starting from when your colleagues have lunch, how they take care of the environment during the lunch break, so they don't go have an extra cup extra cup of coffee, not in a plastic cup but in their tumbler. Might be an important thing to pay attention to, especially in the Bay Area. And the number 3 thing I will say is something maybe a bit strange. Maybe that refers my personal experience and experience of my friends. Maybe that's a very narrow cohort of people who have gone through this, but in my personal understanding, it's extremely important to actually go and check if you are able to walk an extra mile. Especially in California, in this competitive area, people work a lot. They have lots of overnights, they have long hours, sometimes stay late in the evening to finish their presentations or whatever. Sometimes they would take upon work for weekends. Sometimes they would say no to their private life and to actually shift work-life balance. But life's like this, and sometimes we do need to make these sacrifices. And for the Americans, I would say it's very customary. It's not like that for the Scandinavians when 5 o'clock in the evening. For the Brits, it's time to have some tea. Kidding. For the Scandinavians, time to finish work, go to see your family, go to see your friends, go have a, cup of coffee, glass of wine, whatever, pint of beer with their friends in a bar. But for the Americans, it might be quite the opposite. It might be time to have yet another little break to go on for another portion of work. So have a talk with your potential colleagues, ask them whether that will be very necessary to continue working late at night sometimes, whether that would be necessary to go on with your work over the weekend. So sometimes it would be very necessary, and underlining that you're able to do this extra effort and show this commitment to the project even in your private time, that can be very helpful too. So just give it a check. I hope this was helpful and useful. I definitely do not limit the potential success criteria to these 3 features, but to me those were quite important and relevant, as well as for my friends. So I hope this will make you a bit more prepared to your potential employment in the US if this happens to be the case. Take care and good luck.